Okay, I'm going to cover some notes I have to come with the machine. This page here, I'm going to put a copy of it in. It's about the timers, and this page here is about drum height and the roller heights and things like that. And it's kind of just a quick sketch, but it kind of tells the different heights required, or how I set up the rollers and the hold down rollers. And it works in a step like this. In this case, the board would be feeding right to left. So the one thing it didn't cover on the control panel here is this timer control here. And the little symbol, the one on the left, is the trailing, or I'm sorry, that's for the leading edge. The first number is for the leading edge. The second one is the trailing edge, and this is for the side. And I leave this switch in the on. These numbers right here, if you push the button top or bottom, get this focused, that just runs them up or down. And these numbers, it will delay how quick the platen drops down. So in other words, when the piece runs through, the platen's going to drop down on top of the part, and then it picks up before the end, so it doesn't round off the edge a little bit if you've got thin veneer. And the way I do that to mark it is take a piece. This piece was sanded. We went through all the way through the veneer and I kept doing it, but I put pencil marks like this down on both ends of the panel, and when that piece goes through and the platen drops later, you'll leave pencil marks. The idea is, if you don't want to roll over the edge, you make it the number bigger, and it makes the platen drop on the panel, not over the edge, so it rounds it. So, and those timers are controlled from some switches. If you look under the bed, the gate's up, there's a roller, and then there's a set of switches all the way across. They match the air lines in the platen in the back. So as the piece hits the switches up here, which are in the front back here, might be able to see some wires going to each one of them. That timer is coordinated with the feed rate of the mat, and it's how long it takes to get from those switches to this feed, the platen right here, when the feed's running. So the faster the belt's running, it's going to automatically adjust, because it's got an encoder on the other side that picks up the speed of the feed mat. So you don't have to change the timers when you change the belt speed. And then that's going to fire this up and down. I'm going to show it running so you can see it move. But the belt, the platen itself, is inside the belt, and this is the gross adjustment for it. So when it first goes on top of a test piece, we'd run it through. It'll fire. It'll be down on the belt. I'll actually grab this knob, and you can move this to increase the pressure or how it's touching. The other thing to adjust, and I think this is about right for typical work here, but this top regulator, pull out the knob like this, and you can see it moves here, and you can push it into, when you lock it, it doesn't actually click, but you can push it in, and that's 0.5 bar. So a bar is about 15 psi, so 0.5, this is somewhere in the 7 pounds per square inch range right there. It doesn't take a lot, and what that's doing is each of these airlines back here goes to a section on that pad. So the switches in front pick it up left to right and forward and back. Air is in those red lines, puts that 7 pounds in the pad, and that's what's actually pushing on the back. If it was just veneer, you'd probably have this drum in the up position. Number 1 would be off. Number 2 might even be off, and you might just run it through where the pad's the only thing that's going to touch. And you got to think about the thickness gauge at that point too. You wouldn't really be dialing in